Hi, this is Andrea Vicari on Jazz London Radio and you're listening to Jazz Doodles. In today's programme I'll be investigating jazz summer schools with a focus on a particular one in the Dordogne. I'll be playing music from top-level musicians who teach on these schools, such as Quentin Collins, trumpet tutor on the Dordogne Jazz Summer School, and you're hearing music now from his CD Beauty in Quiet Places, and the track is Amuse, Bouche. I'll be looking into why people go on jazz summer schools, what kind of people attend and what they get out of it, and also playing interviews from students themselves. Jazz education is a relatively new subject to be offered at higher education institutions, and it has only been available at degree level in the UK for the last 25 years, and so it's no surprise to learn that jazz summer schools have become increasingly popular in this time. It is the Dordogne Jazz Summer School that is featured today. My first mission was to find out what kind of people attended jazz summer school, and I quickly found out that it was incredibly varied. There were top professionals such as lawyers, company directors, and even politicians. To add to this, there were truck drivers, college students, retired people, psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors, social workers, and so on. In fact, the only thing all these people had in common was the ability to play an instrument and their love of jazz. I asked a few stagiaires, that's what students are known as in French, why they'd come to the summer school. So here's someone's opinion on that. Now Alison, by day you're a barrister, but by night you're a mean saxophone player. So what's a person like you doing in a place like this then?
Well, I think one of the great things about it is it gives you an opening to the music, and sometimes you need just someone to explain what's happening to help you listen, and then you can go away and you can really spend the time doing it yourself. So you not only get to learn the tunes, i.e. the notes or the chords or anything, but you also get a much wider experience in terms of some of the jazz history. You get to learn about all the various musicians and some of the greats, and yeah, it really then helps you when you go back home to hopefully put some of that into practice and get better.
So, I mean, you know, being a busy woman, you know, you've got a lot on. I mean, you could go and lie on a beach, but you come somewhere like here. What's that all about?
Well, I think it's amazingly sort of relaxing, and although it takes you out of your comfort zone, it's also the fact that you're coming into a completely different environment. And for me, relaxation can be either sitting on a beach doing nothing, or actually much more fun and much more interesting is just come and do something completely different, and that gives you the relaxation.
This summer school takes place in an old chateau in a tiny village called Mornington. And here's what one student, Neil, had to say about the area.
I just think it's an amazing experience. It's a fantastic atmosphere, and there's also the setting really encourages you to be creative, and the quality of the tuition is just brilliant.
That was a tune from Nikki Isles, her band the Printmakers. It was from a new album called Westerly, and a track by Ralph Towner called The Glide. Nikki Isles is one of the Dordogne Jazz Summer School's newest recruits and teaches piano. Although based in France with mostly UK tutors, the clientele is international, with students coming from countries such as Holland, Switzerland, Germany, Singapore, the USA and even Nigeria. One student from Nice, called Olivier, explained why he had attended the school.
I came here because it's like a little family. The vibe and the music and efforts that everybody put on every day is just amazing, and it's just, I mean, when you leave this place, you're just missing. I mean, you feel like you're a bit alone, and you want to come back the next year.
What came out of this interview was the effect the school had on people, even after the event had finished. Olivier and some of the others had formed a group called the International Jazz Collective, which was formed of Dordogne Jazz Summer School students. And they regularly met to jam together and do some gigs all over the world, basically wherever band members originated from. Here's another clip from Olivier.
Thanks to Mornington, we formed a group of people, some people, and we try to meet up twice or 3 times during the year, and it's called International Jazz Collective, and it's basically the concept is we don't want to wait next Mornington, so we decided to meet up during the year and recreate the same vibe with a small group of people and trying to play the music that the tutors are teaching us during this week.
And I also heard you had a gig where you supported Carl Eastwood. He seems to feature a lot on my show, as with various musicians. So how was that?
That was just fantastic week. We all people from London came to Nice and we rehearsed for 3 days. It was a hard work, and at the end it was just an amazing result, and we had a positive feedback, and we were so happy. Then the Carl Eastwood gig was really something unique that we want. We will recall.
That was Transition from Mindscapes and featured Jonathan Bratoeff on guitar, Mark Hanslip on sax, Tom Mason bass and James Madron on the drums. James Madron came on the Dordogne Jazz Summer School many years ago and has now become the first choice drummer for many top jazz musicians, including Gwilym Simcock and Kit Downs. One of the students I spoke to just completed his degree at Leeds College of Music and had accepted a place at the Guildhall School of Music to do a Masters in Jazz. So here's Jack Yardley. So, how many years have you been coming on the summer school then?
9 years.
9 years. So how old when you started, Jack?
14.
Okay, and so how has this been a good experience for you then, in general? Not just this year, maybe every year? Sort of?
Well, I've been exposed to some great tuition, which has allowed me to develop my love for jazz, which in turn made me study at Leeds College of Music, and I'm now studying at the Guildhall, all probably due to the teachers here and the inspiration that I got.
Another student from the Ukraine, Natalia, was studying classical violin in Vienna. You're actually a student, aren't you? Where are you studying?
I'm studying in Vienna. Actually, I'm studying classical violin at Conservatorium Wien. So I'm not, but I sing in a jazz choir, so I know a little bit about.
So you're quite a proficient musician.
Yes, but classical musician.
Okay.
Sort of.
So do you feel that you've picked up anything from here that you would take back? Maybe
yes.
Improvisation?
A lot of stuff. I mean, it was very, very useful.
One of the most interesting groups of students came from Nigeria. These were all from a music school in Lagos, and their musical director, Bright Gain, explained his reasons for coming. I asked him why he had come.
To learn music and to learn also the perspective of the British style of jazz and the personalities, so particularly the personality.
And you're coming here as a student, but actually you're a director of a music school in Lagos. Yeah. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, the school is Span Academy of Jazz and Contemporary Music in Lagos. Yeah, we're trying to do jazz. I mean, we have our own way of doing jazz, but jazz is a universal language, so that's why I'm actually coming to learn. And when I came the first time, I saw that okay, they teach it well with a different perspective, so let me also come with the students as well. That's why this year I came with more students.
So what kind of music do you have in your music school? What's the sort of, apart from jazz, what other kinds of music?
Okay, we do other contemporary music and also ethnic music as well.
And you've come here, you've brought your wife this year, you've brought teachers from your school, quite a big entourage. So how did you get them interested in coming then?
Okay, for me it's natural with me when I go somewhere and I feel a positive vibe to also introduce that same thing to other people. So what I did was to try to create like a span summer jazz school as well, but the jazz school will be at Dordogne Jazz Summer School.
Dordogne Jazz Summer School.
Yeah, so we advertised And
so links from your school.
Yeah, to come.
Summer school, and then they all come en masse to here. Okay. And do you like France?
Yeah, France is good, except the language barrier. But thank God here is.
Will you speak English? Well, thank you very much. It's really nice to meet you, Brian. Thank you. That was Bright Gain playing Urire from his album In the Name of Jesus. Trumpeter Billy Morton and his wife Juliette, who plays alto sax, have been attending the French school for a number of years, but one year they faced a dilemma as they were unable to afford to go away on holiday. When I spoke to Billy, he told me how they managed to come last year, despite this dilemma.
Yeah, well, I went on the BBC and won Who Dares Wins. I won 7,500. I thought, yeah, that'll pay for the beer over here. So yeah, here I was. I was.
It's really nice to know that that's where your winnings went to come on the summer school. So
yeah, and I paid for Juliette to come out as well.
Oh, well, you're very generous
I know,
to your wife. Billy also spoke of how, as a result of the school, he has set up gigs and workshops in Suffolk.
Well, on the strength of coming here once a month on a Saturday, I arranged for a local musician to come along. We all pay a tenner and go and hire a hall, pay the musician the money that we make, and they come along 3 hours. And it's very similar here. We learn a song, do a bit of a performance at the end. It's really good, but it's evolved from here, and there's 25, 30 regulars now in Ipswich that turn up. So yeah, really good.
So you're building a good jazz collective.
Yeah, and not only that, like 10 of them have been here over the years as well, which is really good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Billy.
My pleasure.
Thank you. The summer school setting, with its coming together of different people who share a love of jazz, the beauty of the countryside, and the warm weather and relaxed atmosphere is conducive to romance. There have been several relationships as a result of the summer school experience, and the most recent was vocal teacher Paola Vera, who married the son of the owner of the chateau of Mornington. I spoke to Paola's father, Les, who was a singing student on the course, about this union, and also about learning from his daughter.
I'm the father of Paola Vera, who's one of the teachers on this course and a singer-songwriter performer in her own right. So she's my daughter. We had a wedding here about a month ago now, which was wonderful to see. The English and French couple joined, Paola and Manu, and they seem very happy and they're having a wonderful time.
What's it like learning from your daughter? Is this a kind of imbalance of power? Usually you're the one in charge when they're little, and now she's directing you. Is that easy for you? Does it feel really natural?
It does feel natural because Paola has such confidence, and when I was younger I was never really into jazz. It wasn't one of my enjoyable music genres. Paola grew up with things like the Beatles and rock and roll and 70s, 80s sort of soul stuff, Stevie Wonder, and she grew up with that in her head, but not very much jazz or classical. And in a way, for a number of years now, Paola has taught me jazz. She brought me into this world of jazz that I never really knew at all.
Play again, don't stop the show. This time make it one we all know. 'Cause you got to entertain. Come on, Sammy, won't you play it again? With a sigh, I held my breath. I counted down my hours and packed cigarettes.
That was Paola Vera with a tune called Sing Out Loud, and it was her on piano and vocals, Manu Ferramu on drums, and Dorian Lockett on the bass. Musicians Mornington, Lockett and Nick France are Dordogne Jazz Summer School tutors who've also happened to have been recorded on a recent album of mine. On bass is Dordogne Jazz Summer School director Dorian Lockett, and myself on piano. The track is from a new album called The Mirror. Here is Prosperity. Prosperity from my new album, The Mirror. So it seems that jazz summer schools are becoming more and more popular, with the experience having a profound effect on the students who attend. Many form groups outside of the school. Some create their own collectives and have their own jazz scene, involving playing, promoting and inviting artists to do masterclasses. Others use the summer school as a stepping stone to study jazz at degree level, or as a kind of teacher training to take back ideas for teaching jazz to their institutions, thinking here of the Nigerians. Whereas some merely come for a holiday. There have been students who've been attending summer schools for several years, and then there's the first timer who can often be underconfident and feel unprepared for the week of improvisation. However, I am glad to say that most survive this initial feeling of I'm not good enough and not only leave the week full of confidence and joy, but they also return the following year with a cohort of new faces. It seems that participating in a jazz summer school can boost a person's confidence as well as improve their instrumental skills. And how old do you have to be? Well, any age as long as you can play an instrument, as I found out when I interviewed 2 of the youngest members of the summer school.
Come on.
So I'm here with a couple of the youngest members of the Dordogne Jazz Summer School. So I've got a student here. What's your name?
Oscar.
And how old are you?
6.
And what's your name?
Finn.
And how old are you?
5.
5. And what did you do today then?
Oh, I was in front of a stage playing.
What were you playing?
It's like I don't know what it's called, but it's called a tambourine.
A tambourine. A tambourine.
And I went in front of the stage, and I had maracas.
Maracas, fantastic. And I think your mum was playing as well, weren't you? What were you playing?
I was indeed. I was playing the maracas as well.
Right, fantastic. So it seems that the summer school has the youngest member is 5. Well, I don't know what the oldest one, but they're certainly very old. So do you think you guys might come another year to the Dordogne Jazz Summer School and play? What that would be fantastic. Thank you very much.